Welcome back to Made by J&D. It's been 2.5 months since I did my last video, which was connecting the cable on the transmission. And the next part of that was I had to connect the other end to the steering column, base of the steering column. There's no real barrier to that. Just have to get in there and do it. But several things combined. It was the middle of November. In amongst working in the shed here, I was always tripping and stumbling over a project I'd started a long time ago, which was redoing some garden chairs, cast aluminum garden chairs that we'd bought in Australia. They were powder coated. Well, we live next to the ocean, and you know, that powder coating, I just don't like it. It probably works pretty good most places, but when it's on cast aluminum, the metal's maybe not prepared properly, you get one little tiny crack on that stuff, and the moisture gets underneath the salt water, it lifts all that stuff up and scabs. Where it stuck really good. Where it wasn't stuck, it just looked awful. It turns white. So I was tripping over those pieces, and there were 2 chairs, total of I think 10 pieces. They're all really intricate castings. It was kind of a basket weave. Powder coating doesn't come off easily. And I tried heat. I tried heat later on, but I tried paint stripper first, and then heat, and then wire brush, and then that stuff just was not coming off. I had a blasting cabinet, and I tried sandblasting, and that really, really slow. It did work, but my gosh, it was slow. And what I'm getting to is I just got caught up in that. I wanted to get that done before the end of the year, because I've just been tripping over it for, well, the years that we've been here, 4 years now. So here's the finished product. They look okay now. I'd used sandblasted all the pieces to gray aluminum, did an etching primer, and then this bronze, nice looking bronze paint. Yeah, so they're out front now, and they should be good for the rest of my life, because I'm never gonna do it again, that's for sure. Well, one thing led to another. That was after Christmas, I got those done, or that was actually just before Christmas. That was the holidays, and that meant making some decorations. Let me show you. Here are the Christmas trees. My wife found plans for them, the one on the far left. She found plans for that one, and I modified them to make the middle one and the bigger one. The tallest one's about 5 feet high. The smallest one's about 3 feet high. Well, you know, I made that. That meant putting out Christmas decorations and then also bringing Christmas decorations down. Where do I put these trees when I've got them finished? Well, I'm up here in the roof. I'm up here in the ceiling of the shed. Nice view from up here. And so in order to store them, I needed a shelf. So I built a shelf for it. But I couldn't really build a shelf until I had finished this top tier underneath, right above the entry door there, and all the way up to that coil of wire, there was just exposed insulation. And I wanted to get that finished. So that meant putting up all this stuff here, all along this wall and all along that wall, and I finally got all the insulation covered. There was also a small part over there that I had to finish. So that meant I had to do that too. And when I got that done, I figured, you know, it'd be really nice to put up the shelves. The shelves ended. Those shelves there ended. They're suspended from the ceiling. And they ended when I'd built the shed originally, because I didn't know what I was going to do there. I'd run out of materials. I hadn't finished the top tier. So I finished those shelves. That took a few days. I figured then, well, you know, I had all these signs and license plates hanging all around. Let's put them all up. So I put those up, and just, you know, one thing led to another. In order to put up all this plywood, or it's actually OSB, I had a ladder. I don't know if I have a picture. I'll try to include it here. And the ladder worked quite well. I was able to put up all these fans, all the ceilings, the lights, and all that stuff put up here with that ladder. But it was big and bulky, and it was hard to move around. In order to get to the shelves, you know, it was hard to maneuver. So then I got myself a real indulgence. So this lift is just cool. While I'm up here, I can drive it around. Look at the wheels to see where they're steered. And that's as fast as it goes while you're up. If I was down, it's a bit faster. Neatest, coolest machine, I'll tell you what. So that was a pretty big indulgence, but my gosh, it's been handy for me. I was able to use it because it's hydraulic hoist and electrically driven everywhere else. I was able to use the lift to actually put those bring up those sheets of OSB, which are quite heavy, 7/16 OSB. But I was able to make a little clamps. I was able to put the sheet on top of those clamps and lift them up and then put them into place safely without any whole lot of stress. It takes about 1/3 the footprint of that big ladder. Plus when I'm up there, I can drive it around. I can go where I need to go without having to come down, reposition and all that. So it's been a real big improvement for me. So the shelves are done, wall to wall. Got this top tier finished. Signs are up. I've got a storage place for the trees. And then I figured, I had all these nuts and bolts that were cluttering up my workbench here. And that was all from the fire truck and the motorhome. I had a box full of bolts. So then I spent the next couple of weeks, actually, had to buy these bins. And now all those bolts are sorted. These are all Imperial. I've also sorted out the metric. I've got them labeled there, M12, M10, M8, M6, M5, nuts, bolts, and I even sorted out all the various wood screws and self-tappers and everything else that I had. There were some really oddballs that I threw out, and I just hate throwing out screws. I don't need to throw them out. I mean, I don't really need the room at this point, but I was just stumbling over them, so they're gone now. And I kept the ones I thought I should keep. So now I'm about ready to get back to work on the truck. But the one last thing I really wanted to take care of was my gantry crane here. When I built this, it should be good, even though I've derated it to about 1 ton, it should be good for 2. The casters that are on it now are phenolic, which is a resin impregnated cotton. And I had these urethane tired wheels on there, but on this floor, those urethane tires just could not turn. If they were all pointed in the same direction, the crane was actually quite easy to move. But man, trying to get those casters to turn and get it to go where you wanted it to go was a pretty good effort. But now it just moves so easy. So that's me. It's the 28th of January, ready to start working on the fire truck behind me. If you want to know more, I've done a whole series of videos on it. Thanks for coming back if you're a subscriber. I would like it if you subscribed. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Thanks. See you soon.